because she was a friend of Mary, my daughter's. Mary, who is now Mernie Berger, and at that point I don't know if she was Mary Knowles maybe, but that's because she was a friend and because at that point she was living on Wilkins Avenue,
Yes.
a little thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then she moved to Emerson, and I sort of got to know her just as a person, not because of the school, but as a person. And she's just darling. I just love her. I can't believe she's abroad at the moment because I just saw her at Wicker Wildline's funeral 2 weeks ago. We were up in the country, and she sat in the pew right beside her, looking just, well, she always looks like an angel, but she really was I was so taken with how because I'd seen her through the years for so long. I was so pleased to see her there. Anyway, she's a very special person. I was very impressed with what Jody was doing, and I suppose when she said, we're doing something, would you help or something? And then, in no time at all, we were working on the school on Aiken and Penn. It's a little up from Penn, but the parking lot was there. And we had things at the church, which is right across the way. It was a Catholic church, wasn't it?
Yes, and they used that, they took advantage of that church,
exactly.
Didn't they? Yes, with the gymnasium and the church.
Yes, and it seems I don't know, had meetings there. How I got involved in that, I don't know how I really got involved, except I loved what they were doing. I admired what they were doing, and we'd go up in the elevator and have lunch there, and then we knew when the classes and which classes were working and which was. And then they found this, they didn't think they were going to be able to do it, and then they bought the property. I guess they had to, and because I wasn't on the board, I was just there, just involved. And then they built this, wonderful building, and we, went over and toured and went to events there, and then we did. I went to a lot of graduations as the Third Presbyterian Church. The Neighborhood Academy has been blessed to have Jody and Tom to lead them or to create
Mm-hmm.
the atmosphere and the place in the hearts of people. Also, they have been able to attract young people and to teach them how to grow as people and citizens of the world. There's something that Tom and Jody had to give, and they gave from their hearts. I did a lot of visiting and occasional going to classes and finding out, which ones I thought were wonderful, which ones weren't. And then when I moved here, I painted and I had a lot of art stuff. art equipment, and I gave it all to the school. But that was just because I didn't know what else to do with it. They seemed to use it, so that was fine for me. And it seems to me I went to a lot of events that they had at the new school, and I was full of admiration. And then I found we used to walk in Shenley Park, and then I bumped into them learning to play golf at Shenley Park.
Oh, and the kids at First Tees?
The First Tee, you see.
Yes. Yeah.
And I saw them a lot because I seemed to bump into them. And I just think what happens at that school is very, very special. And Tom was a wonderful minister to them all. And Jody was too, but all the teachers were really maybe still are very special, and do wonderful things for those kids. And the fact you go to the graduations and they'd be going to umpteen colleges, and I was just thrilled. Of course, I lived up on Kipling Road, so I just toddled on down to those graduations. But I was just filled with admiration with what was being accomplished spiritually and in every other way. And musically, music was wonderful, and the art was wonderful, all of which all the academic things, but I was always having been involved in the Museum of Art and also Science Center too. But every branch of academics, they were being given lots of opportunity to learn and to do, and they did. And you'd see when you went to the graduations in the beginning, the parents sort of wandered in for the graduation. Believe me, as time went on, parents were up front and center and just taking great pride in the whole thing, which is so wonderful. I can't feel more filled with admiration and with what has been accomplished through the years by Tom and by Jody, and how much first of all, how much time and effort they put into it, but how much of themselves and true quality of life that they gave to them. And the kids are still being given it, and because they've been given this, a lot of them are going on to other things and good things. I just think it's wonderful. And I also I think the people that they have been on the board and been working in various forms have been very helpful and encouraging. The Neighborhood Academy has been a tremendous force for the community, for all sorts of parts of the community. Happy 21st anniversary to the Neighborhood Academy and for all they stand for.